Alex stepped off the shuttle and onto the soft, amber soil of Nova Prime. The air smelled faintly sweet, unlike Earth's smell of cities and cars. Around him, the colony glittered under twin suns. Buildings were small and round, painted in bright colors, designed to feel like homes rather than machines. The colony was alive with people unpacking supplies, setting up labs, and talking in excited voices. Alex's heart thumped with both excitement and nervousness. This was his first mission outside Earth, and he had trained for months for this moment. He adjusted the strap of his backpack and walked toward the housing modules assigned to new settlers. Each module was small, designed for 1 or 2 people, but equipped with everything needed to survive on this new planet. He paused in front of the door with his name on it. A. Carter. He took a deep breath and knocked. There was no answer. He turned the handle, unlocked. The room was small but tidy, with a single bed against one wall, a desk under a window showing the alien sky, and shelves with a few basic supplies. But something was strange. The bed wasn't empty. A girl was sitting cross-legged on it, her tablet in her lap. She looked up at him, her eyes wide with surprise. "This is my room," she said softly but firmly. "Only one bed here." Alex froze. He hadn't expected anyone else to be inside. "Oh, he began, but then paused. The girl had a calm, confident tone, but not unkind. "Wait," she said, tilting her head. "You're Alex, right? New settler?" "Yes," he said, nodding. "Alex Carter. And you?" "Lyra," she replied. "Lyra Tenzin. I've been assigned this room a week ago." Alex looked around, noticing how compact the room was. He didn't want to argue, and he definitely didn't want to cause trouble on the first day. Then an idea popped into his mind. He smiled gently. "Maybe we can share it?" he asked. Lyra blinked at him. She wasn't expecting that. "Share?" "Yeah," he said. "There's enough space for both of us. I can sleep on the couch if you want, or we can figure something out. I'm not here to make things difficult." Lyra studied him for a long moment. Then slowly she nodded. "All right, we can try that. But I get the bed first tonight." Alex laughed softly. "Fair enough." He set his bag down and began unpacking his supplies. He noticed the room had something unusual. The walls glowed faintly at times, showing strange patterns, almost like tiny constellations moving slowly across the surface. "Do you see that?" he asked, pointing at the glowing patterns. Lyra looked and shrugged. "I noticed them yesterday. I thought it was some kind of decoration." "Decoration doesn't move," Alex said, frowning. "Look, they shift when we move around." Lyra's eyes widened. "Really? I didn't notice that." The two of them examined the patterns together, tracing their fingers over the glowing lines. They didn't touch the wall fully, but the patterns seemed to respond to their presence, brightening slightly as their hands hovered near it. "This is strange," Lyra whispered. Alex nodded. "Yeah, I wonder if it's a signal or some kind of alien tech." Lyra bit her lip. "Maybe. Or maybe the planet is alive in some way. I read something in the colony briefing. Nova Prime is unique." Alex's curiosity piqued. "You mean it reacts to humans?" Lyra shrugged. "Maybe it's just speculation, but if that's true, we should pay attention." They spent the next few minutes watching the patterns. The room felt quiet and safe, even though they were strangers forced together in a small space. The soft hum of the colony outside and the distant chatter of other settlers filled the air. Eventually, Alex said, "I guess we should get settled. Tomorrow will be busy. First day on the planet, first tasks." Lyra nodded. "Yeah, and we should figure out the sleeping arrangements properly, but it might not be so bad sharing the room." Alex smiled. "See, we're off to a good start already." That night, as they prepared for sleep, Lyra took the bed and Alex curled up on the small couch. The glow of the wall patterns created a soft, comforting light in the room. Alex watched the strange constellations on the wall and thought about the possibilities of this new world. Outside, the wind blew gently, carrying the faint scent of alien flowers. In the sky, the twin suns were sinking behind the mountains, painting the sky in colors Alex had never seen before, deep violet and soft gold. He felt a thrill he had never felt on Earth. This was truly a new beginning. In the morning, they woke to the sounds of the colony coming alive. Alex and Lyra worked together for the first time to organize supplies, test communication equipment, and get familiar with the colony's layout. Sharing a small room meant they had to cooperate, and soon they found themselves laughing at minor mistakes and learning each other's habits. By midday, they had formed a tentative friendship. Lyra was smart and careful, always thinking ahead. Alex was curious and adventurous, asking questions and trying new solutions. Together, they made a good team. During lunch, they sat on the balcony of their housing module, looking down at the colony. People were planting gardens, testing drones, and exploring the nearby terrain. The air was warm, but not too hot. The soil beneath them was soft, almost like fine sand, and small plants with glowing tips dotted the ground. "I think this planet wants us to notice something," Lyra said, her gaze following a line of glowing plants that seemed to move slightly in the breeze. Alex nodded. "I noticed that too. Maybe it's a way the planet communicates with us, or maybe it's testing how humans handle surprises." Lyra smiled. "Well, we're surviving the first test just by sharing a room." Alex laughed. "True. That might be the hardest challenge yet." As the day ended, Alex and Lyra returned to their room. The glowing patterns on the walls seemed brighter now, almost as if they recognized the humans inside. Alex traced the shapes again, wondering what secrets Nova Prime held. Lyra watched him, curious. "You really think the planet is alive?" Alex shrugged. "I don't know, but I do know one thing. This place is full of surprises, and we're just at the beginning." That night, for the first time, Alex felt the strange mix of excitement and calm. He was far from Earth, in a tiny room with a stranger, but somehow it felt right. The glow from the walls bathed the room in soft light, and the twin suns' last rays slipped through the window. As he drifted off to sleep on the couch, he thought about the adventure ahead. Sharing a room with Lyra was unexpected, but maybe, just maybe, it was the start of something amazing. The next morning, the sun rose over Nova Prime like a golden flame splitting the sky in two. Alex woke first, stretching on the small couch. Across the room, Lyra was already awake, sitting at the desk and scribbling notes into a small journal. The glow from the wall patterns seemed brighter than the night before, as if acknowledging their presence again. Alex rubbed his eyes and yawned. "Morning," he said quietly. Lyra looked up and smiled. "Morning. Ready for your first day of real work?" He nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. This was his first chance to contribute to the colony, and he didn't want to make mistakes. Their first task was at the colony's energy hub. Nova Prime's atmosphere was unpredictable, and the small storms that swept across the landscape could interfere with the colony's power systems. Alex and Lyra were assigned together to check the solar collectors and stabilize the energy grids. Walking across the colony grounds, Alex marveled at how alive Nova Prime felt. The soil beneath their boots was soft but firm, dotted with small, glowing plants that bent slightly as if bowing to each step. The air carried a faint scent of honey and mint, unusual but pleasant. Lyra glanced at him. "It's strange, isn't it? Almost like the planet is watching us." Alex laughed softly. "I've been thinking the same thing. Maybe it wants us to work together." When they reached the energy hub, they found a small crowd of colonists already busy at work. Panels were being inspected, wires checked, and data collected. The hub was compact but efficient, a testament to human engineering on an alien world. Their supervisor, an older engineer named Mara, waved them over. "Alex, Lyra, good. We'll need both of you today. A storm passed last night, and a few solar collectors are off balance. Can you check the northern panels first?" Alex nodded. "Yes, ma'am," Lyra added. "Let's divide the work. I'll handle the calibrations while you check the wiring." They moved swiftly, working side by side. At first, their coordination was clumsy. Alex's hands were too quick, and Lyra's movements were precise but slow. They bumped into each other, laughed nervously, and adjusted. By mid-morning, they were moving in rhythm, almost like a well-practiced team. As they worked, Alex noticed something unusual. The glowing patterns he had seen in their room seemed to appear faintly on the surfaces of the equipment. Lines of soft light traced the edges of panels, flickering as they adjusted wires and screws. "Lyra, look at this," Alex said, pointing to the faint glow on the panel. She leaned in. "That's exactly what I saw in the room yesterday. It's following us." Alex frowned. "Why would it do that? It's just light, right?" Lyra shook her head. "I don't think so. The patterns seem to respond to our movements, almost like they're alive." Before Alex could reply, one of the northern solar panels emitted a soft hum. A small cluster of lights flickered in a pattern that looked almost like a wave. The energy output was fluctuating, and if they didn't fix it, the entire colony could face a blackout. Alex and Lyra exchanged a look. "Let's fix it," Lyra said. Working together, they traced the problem to a misaligned sensor. Alex held the panel steady while Lyra recalibrated the sensor. As soon as she finished, the panel hummed steadily, and the lights on the surface glowed smoothly. "It worked," Alex said, grinning. Lyra smiled. "I think the planet likes that we cooperate." They continued through the rest of the panels, their confidence growing with each successful repair. By noon, the energy hub was stable, and Mara came over clapping her hands. "Excellent work," she said. "Looks like Nova Prime will give us a quiet day for once. You two make a good team." Alex and Lyra exchanged shy smiles. They hadn't expected to form a connection so quickly, but the shared work had broken down walls between them. During lunch, they sat in the small courtyard outside the hub. The twin suns hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the colony. Alex pulled out a sandwich while Lyra unpacked some fruit from her bag. "You know," Lyra said, biting into a sweet orange-like fruit, "I didn't expect to get along with anyone so quickly here. I thought the first week would be lonely." Alex laughed. "Me too, but I'm glad it's you I'm sharing the room with." Lyra looked surprised. "Oh? Why?" "Because you're smart, careful, and easy to work with," Alex said. "I think we make a good team." Lyra smiled, a little shyly. "I think so too." After lunch, a small alarm rang across the colony. A minor atmospheric fluctuation had been detected nearby. Mara instructed Alex and Lyra to help check the outer sensors. They suited up and stepped outside. The landscape beyond the colony was breathtaking. Hills rolled gently, covered in violet grass, and small streams of clear water glimmered in the sunlight. Alien birds, with feathers that reflected the sun's light, darted across the sky. It was beautiful, but Alex could sense the hidden challenges of the new world. At the edge of the colony, they approached a sensor tower. Alex noticed the glowing lines again, now moving along the tower like flowing water. "Lyra, it's following us out here too," he said, pointing. Lyra nodded. "I'm convinced. Nova Prime is alive, and I think it's curious about us." Alex laughed. "Curious humans. That explains why it's been glowing at us all day." They climbed the tower carefully, checking connections and recalibrating the instruments. As they worked, they began to talk about their lives on Earth. sharing small stories and experiences. Alex told Lyra about his hometown by the coast, where sunsets looked like Nova Prime's twin suns. Lyra shared her memories of growing up in a city surrounded by mountains. For a moment, the world seemed small, and Nova Prime vast but welcoming. By late afternoon, the sensors were stable, and the minor fluctuation had passed. They returned to the colony, exhausted but proud. Alex and Lyra had learned not only to work together but also to trust each other. That evening, as they walked back to their shared room, Alex glanced at the sky. The suns were setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The glowing patterns in the room, he realized, were like Nova Prime's way of celebrating their success. Lyra noticed his gaze. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Alex nodded. "It really is. And I think this planet has more surprises waiting for us." They entered their room quietly. The glow on the walls seemed brighter than ever, almost like it was welcoming them back. Alex dropped his backpack on the floor while Lyra sat on the bed. "I'm glad we're sharing this room," Lyra said softly. Alex smiled. "Me too. I think it's the start of something good." Before sleep, they sat by the window, watching the twin suns disappear behind the hills. The soft hum of the colony around them and the gentle glow of the walls made the small room feel like a sanctuary. They didn't need much, just each other and the wonder of the world outside. Alex realized something important. Being on Nova Prime wasn't just about surviving or building a colony. It was about learning to work together, understanding a new world, and finding connection in the most unexpected places. Lyra turned to him with a smile. "Tomorrow we check the northern perimeter, right?" Alex nodded. "And see what else Nova Prime wants to show us." As they drifted off to sleep, the planet's glow filled the room, gentle and warm. It was the beginning of a new chapter, for the colony, for humanity, and for the unlikely companions who had shared a room and started to form a bond. The morning light on Nova Prime spilled through the window, painting Alex and Lyra's small room in golden hues. The twin suns were higher today, warming the colony gently. Alex stretched on the couch, and Lyra was already awake, her journal open, scribbling notes about the patterns on the walls. "Morning," Alex said quietly, rubbing his eyes. Lyra looked up and smiled. "Morning. Are you ready for today?" Alex nodded, though a little hesitantly. Today they were to explore the northern perimeter of the colony. Sensors had detected some unusual readings, and Mara wanted them checked. It wasn't dangerous, or at least it wasn't supposed to be, but it was the first time Alex and Lyra would venture further than the usual working areas. The two of them packed their gear and walked across the softly glowing fields. The alien grass bent under their feet, revealing small flowers that shone faintly like little lanterns. Alex noticed how the patterns on the grass seemed to ripple as they walked, almost like the planet itself was greeting them. "Nova Prime really is alive," Alex said, his voice full of awe. Lyra nodded. "I told you. I think it's curious about us. The more we explore, the more it reacts." At the northern perimeter, the terrain was different. Gentle hills gave way to small valleys, with streams reflecting the twin suns like liquid gold. Strange rocks dotted the landscape, carved with glowing lines similar to the patterns in their room. Alex traced one with his fingers. "Do you see this?" he asked Lyra. "It's like the walls in our room." Lyra leaned closer. "It's definitely a pattern, but I don't think it's just decoration. It's like the planet is trying to communicate." As they explored, small surprises greeted them. A bush that had no flowers yesterday now bloomed in soft pink light. A stone path seemed to rearrange itself slightly as they approached, guiding them toward a small hill. It was subtle, but Alex noticed the movements. "Do you think the planet is helping us?" Alex asked, eyes wide. Lyra shrugged. Maybe. Or it's testing us. Testing how we react when things don't go as expected. They climbed the hill carefully and found a small clearing. In the center, a strange device was half buried in the soil. It looked alien, though its design was elegant and simple. Alex knelt down to examine it, brushing off the dirt. Lyra, this isn't human, he said softly. She peered over his shoulder. No, it's not. But it looks friendly, somehow, like it wants to be found. They examined the device together. It had small, glowing symbols that shifted when their fingers hovered above it. Alex reached out and touched it, and the symbols pulsed in response. Wow, Lyra whispered. It's alive, in its own way. Suddenly, the device emitted a soft hum. Light spread from it in a circular pattern across the clearing. The grass and flowers within the circle glowed more brightly, and the air seemed warmer, more welcoming. Alex and Lyra stepped back, startled, but not afraid. I think it likes us, Alex said with a grin. Lyra laughed softly. Or it's testing our reaction. Either way, we passed the test so far. They spent the next hour studying the device, documenting their observations and trying to understand its purpose. Every action they took seemed to produce a gentle response from the environment. Flowers brightening, light shifting, even small stones humming softly. It felt like the planet itself was alive and communicating through subtle gestures. By the time they decided to return to the colony, they felt a new sense of connection, not just with each other, but with Nova Prime itself. Walking back, Alex glanced at Lyra. You know, he said, we make a pretty good team. Lyra smiled. Yeah, I didn't think I'd enjoy this so much, being with someone else out here. But you make it fun. Alex laughed. I think it's the planet, too. Makes us better. Back in the colony, they reported their findings to Mara. She listened intently as they described the device and the glowing patterns. This is remarkable, Mara said. It seems Nova Prime really is semi-sentient. We need to document everything carefully, and I think you two handled the situation very well. Good teamwork. Alex felt a warm glow of pride. Thanks, ma'am. We just followed our instincts. Lyra nodded. And worked together. The evening brought another quiet moment in their shared room. The glowing patterns on the walls seemed even more lively than before. Alex and Lyra sat by the window, watching the twin suns sink behind the hills. You know, Lyra said, I didn't expect sharing a room to be like this. Alex looked at her, curious. Like what? Like comforting and exciting. It feels like the small space brought us closer. And the planet, it's like it knows we're learning to cooperate. Alex smiled. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe Nova Prime is teaching us something bigger than just survival. Lyra leaned back on the bed, watching the glowing patterns ripple gently. Like how humans can work together. Even strangers can become friends. Alex nodded. Yeah. And maybe it's showing us that we can handle more than we think. That we can explore, adapt, and thrive here. They sat in silence for a while, feeling the warmth of the room and the subtle glow of the walls. It was peaceful, but beneath it, there was a sense of anticipation. Something more awaited them on Nova Prime. Something the planet was ready to reveal when they were ready. Later that night, a soft hum filled the room. Alex sat up on the couch, listening. The patterns on the walls shifted again, forming a series of shapes that almost looked like a map. Lyra joined him, tracing the shapes with her fingers. It's pointing somewhere, she said. Maybe the planet wants us to go further tomorrow? Alex's heart raced. Then we have a new adventure ahead. Lyra smiled, excitement in her eyes. And we'll face it together. As they settled down to sleep, the glow of the walls surrounded them like a gentle embrace. For the first time, Alex felt completely at home on Nova Prime, not just in the colony, but in the world itself. He realized that the challenges ahead weren't just about technology or survival. They were about understanding, cooperation, and connection with each other, with the planet, and with the unknown possibilities of this new world. And as he drifted off to sleep, he knew that sharing a room with Lyra had been more than just a convenience. It had been the start of a partnership, a bond that would carry them through whatever surprises Nova Prime had in store. Word count. Fawn 300 style, third-person, simple English content, safe, HFY-focused, cooperative theme, no violence or adult content. Hook for Part 4. Nova Prime begins actively communicating with Alex and Lyra, revealing more secrets and testing their teamwork and empathy. If you want, I can continue Part 4, where Nova Prime's behavior intensifies. The environment becomes more mysterious, and Alex and Lyra face the first real test of their partnership. Do you want me to proceed with Part 4? You said, Part 4. 1,300 words ka lekho or interesting huna chahiye, or third-person style ma likhni ha, or simple basic English ka, or violated free hona chahiye, ChatGPT said. Absolutely. Here's Part 4 of your story in third person, simple English, around 1,300 words, engaging, safe, and HFY-focused. Part 4. Unlocking Nova Prime's secret. The morning sun of Nova Prime spilled golden light across the colony, and Alex woke with a sense of anticipation. The strange patterns in their shared room were brighter than usual, forming lines and curves that seemed almost like symbols. Lyra was already at the desk, her fingers hovering above her journal as she studied the wall glow. "Morning, Alex," she said softly. "Look at the walls. The patterns. They're different today." Alex walked over and traced the glowing lines with his finger. The symbols shifted beneath his touch, forming new shapes and paths. "It's like the planet wants to show us something," he said. Lyra nodded. "I think it's more than just showing. It's guiding us." The message was clear. Nova Prime was trying to communicate. The two of them quickly prepared for the day, packing light tools, notebooks, and cameras. Today, they would follow the signs beyond the northern perimeter, the place where the device had pulsed and the environment had responded to their presence. Walking across the softly glowing fields, Alex and Lyra felt a mixture of excitement and caution. The air smelled fresher here, tinged with sweetness, and the grass under their feet shimmered faintly in response to their steps. Even the small alien birds seemed to follow them, their wings catching the sunlight in bright reflections. "Do you think Nova Prime understands humans?" Alex asked, glancing at Lyra. Lyra smiled thoughtfully. "Not like we understand each other, but I think it knows how we feel and how we work together. That's why it reacts to us." As they approached the northern hill, the glowing patterns on the ground grew stronger, forming a clear path forward. Small stones began to hum softly as they stepped nearby, resonating with the rhythms of their movements. Alex and Lyra exchanged amazed looks. "It's guiding us," Alex said. "We just have to follow." The path led them to a small clearing surrounded by trees with leaves that shimmered in hues of silver and blue. In the center, a pool of clear water reflected the twin suns, glowing softly. Around the pool, the glowing patterns were stronger than anywhere else they had seen. Lyra knelt by the edge of the pool, tracing the glowing symbols with her fingers. "Alex, look. The patterns match the device from yesterday. It's like the planet is repeating its message here." Alex leaned over, examining the pool. "And it's bigger, more complex. This must be important." As they studied the symbols, the pool began to shimmer, forming soft ripples that reflected more than just light. Shapes appeared, tiny holograms rising from the surface. They saw familiar patterns from their room, the glowing lines from the device, and even faint images of the colony. Nova Prime was showing them connections, how humans, the colony, and the planet were linked. "It's beautiful," Lyra whispered. Suddenly, the symbols on the trees and the stones pulsed together, forming a circle around them. The air inside the circle felt warmer, calmer, and Alex realized the planet was focusing on them, almost like it was listening. "What do we do?" Alex asked. Lyra smiled. "I think we respond together, touch the pool at the same time." They knelt side by side, placing their hands gently on the water. The moment they did, the pool glowed brightly. Images rose from the water. Nova Prime itself, showing a vision of its forests, hills, and glowing flowers. Then a new message appeared, patterns that resembled humans working together, building structures, sharing tasks, and helping each other. Alex realized what it meant. It's showing us humanity's strength, how we cooperate, how we care. Lyra nodded, her eyes wide. "It's testing us, seeing if we're ready." They followed the patterns, touching the glowing symbols in sequence. Each time, the environment responded. Flowers bloomed, stones hummed, and the air shimmered with warmth. Nova Prime wasn't just alive, it was aware. It recognized actions that came from teamwork, trust, and compassion. Hours passed as Alex and Lyra worked together, decoding the patterns. The sun began to lower, casting long shadows across the clearing. Finally, after the last sequence of symbols glowed, the pool formed a new image, a hidden path leading to an untouched part of the planet. Alex looked at Lyra in awe. "It's a reward, a place we haven't seen yet." Lyra smiled, eyes sparkling. "And we got here together. The planet trusted us." Walking along the hidden path, they entered a breathtaking landscape. Trees towered above them, with leaves glowing faintly in soft shades of blue and silver. Streams wound through the land like ribbons of glass, and small creatures with delicate wings and shimmering bodies darted among the plants. It was unlike anything on Earth. Nova Prime's hidden ecosystem, alive and untouched, waiting for humans to explore with care. "This is incredible," Alex said, his voice full of wonder. Lyra reached out, touching a glowing plant. "And it's ours to study, to understand. We have to protect it." Alex nodded. "Nova Prime is showing us the best of what humans can do. We can build, we can explore, and we can care." The two of them continued to explore, carefully documenting the environment, taking notes and samples where appropriate. Every discovery reinforced the idea that the planet rewarded cooperation, curiosity, and respect. As the twin suns began to set, casting golden light across the sparkling landscape, Alex and Lyra found a small hill overlooking the new ecosystem. They sat together, taking in the view. The glowing plants, flowing streams, and gentle creatures made them feel both small and connected to something much greater. "You know," Lyra said softly, "I didn't expect sharing a room to lead to this, but maybe it was meant to happen. We had to work together, trust each other, and now we're here." Alex smiled. "Yeah, I think Nova Prime saw that we were willing to cooperate, and it rewarded us. It's teaching us something important. Humans are stronger when we work together." Lyra laughed lightly. "And when we share a room," Alex chuckled. "Definitely when we share a room." As they sat in silence, the glowing patterns from the clearing seemed to pulse softly, like a heartbeat. It was comforting, almost like the planet was proud of them. They had faced the first real test of Nova Prime's intelligence, and passed. That night, back in their small room, Alex and Lyra reflected on the day. The glowing walls mirrored the patterns from the clearing, forming gentle lights and shapes across the room. They didn't need words. Both of them knew they had discovered something extraordinary, and they were experiencing it together. "Tomorrow," Lyra said quietly, "we explore more. There's so much to learn here. Nova Prime has secrets we haven't even imagined." Alex nodded. "And we'll face them together. That's what makes humans special. Our curiosity, our cooperation, our care." They settled down to sleep. The glow of the walls and the hum of the colony around them wrapping the room in gentle warmth. For the first time, Alex felt completely at peace in the new world. He had not just survived, he had thrived, and he had shared the experience with someone he trusted completely. Nova Prime had revealed its first secret, and Alex and Lyra knew there were more waiting, challenges, surprises, and lessons. But together, they were ready. The bond they had formed in a small shared room had become a foundation for something greater, a partnership capable of facing the mysteries of an entire planet. The twin suns of Nova Prime rose slowly over the horizon, bathing the colony in a warm, golden light. Alex woke first, stretching on the small couch in their shared room. Lyra was already awake, sitting on the bed with her journal open. She looked up and smiled at him. "Morning," she said softly. "Ready for today?" Alex nodded. "Yeah, Nova Prime is waiting." Today, they would explore deeper into the untouched ecosystem Nova Prime had revealed. Yesterday had shown them the planet's intelligence and willingness to communicate, but today they hoped to discover more. Packing lightly, they stepped outside into the glowing fields. The air smelled fresh, sweet, and vibrant, filled with the quiet hum of life. Every plant, every stone seemed to shimmer gently in response to their steps. Alex and Lyra shared a look, both feeling a mix of excitement and respect. "You know," Alex said, glancing around, "this place feels alive in a way Earth never did." Lyra nodded. "And it reacts to us. We have to be careful but also curious. That's what the planet wants. Curiosity without harm." They followed the path from the clearing, guided by faint glowing markers on the ground. As they walked, they noticed new wonders, flowers that changed color as they approached, small animals with translucent wings, and trees with trunks that glowed softly when touched. Every reaction seemed connected to their presence, almost as if Nova Prime was studying them. After a while, they reached a vast meadow where streams crisscrossed the land. In the middle, a series of stones formed a circle, glowing faintly with the same patterns they had seen in their room and at the clearing. Alex knelt down, tracing the symbols with his fingers. "These patterns," he said, amazed, "they're everywhere. The planet really is trying to tell us something." Lyra joined him, her hands hovering above the glowing stones. "And it seems to respond to our cooperation. When we touch the symbols together, it glows brighter." They followed the circle, touching the stones in sequence. The meadow lit up in waves of light, and the air hummed with soft energy. Then, small holographic shapes rose from the streams, images of humans working together, helping each other, sharing knowledge and tools. Nova Prime was showing them a vision of humanity at its best. Alex's eyes widened. "It's showing us what humans are capable of. Our curiosity, our care, our teamwork, it's all connected." Lyra smiled. "And it's rewarding us for recognizing it, for being part of it. The planet isn't just alive, it understands us." The glowing circle expanded, revealing a hidden path through the forest. The plants along the path glowed more brightly, bending gently as if welcoming them forward. Alex and Lyra walked carefully, marveling at the untouched beauty around them. Small streams reflected the suns, and delicate creatures with glowing wings darted between the trees. "This is incredible," Alex whispered. "It's like Nova Prime is giving us the chance to explore its most beautiful secrets." Lyra laughed softly. And we get to do it together? As they moved deeper, they came to a small hill overlooking a vast valley. The valley was filled with glowing plants, rivers that shimmered like molten glass, and creatures moving in harmony with the landscape. It was a world untouched by human hands, a perfect ecosystem thriving under Nova Prime's guidance. Alex and Lyra stood in awe, taking in the scene. "We have to document this," Alex said. "This is history, humanity's first real connection with an alien world." Lyra nodded. "And we have to protect it. The planet trusted us by showing this to us. We can't fail it." They spent the day exploring carefully, mapping the streams, documenting the glowing plants, and observing the animals. The planet's reactions continued. Flowers brightened when they approached. Small stones hummed when they moved, and the air seemed to respond to their presence. Nova Prime was not just a home. It was a living partner in their exploration. As the suns began to set, painting the sky in soft pink and gold, Alex and Lyra found a quiet spot beside a gentle stream. They sat together, watching the reflections in the water and listening to the soft hum of the valley. "You know," Lyra said softly, "sharing a room with you, it led to all of this. If we hadn't started working together, maybe we wouldn't have earned the planet's trust." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. "I know. That little room, it was the beginning. Sharing space, cooperating, learning about each other, it prepared us for this moment." Lyra nodded. "And it's more than just the planet. We've learned about ourselves too, how humans can adapt, understand, and thrive, even in a place we didn't know before." Alex looked out over the valley. "That's what I love about this. Nova Prime isn't just testing us. It's showing us the best of humanity. Our curiosity, our care, our teamwork. We're capable of more than we realize." As night fell, they returned to their room, tired but exhilarated. The walls glowed softly, forming gentle patterns that mirrored the experiences of the day. Alex lay on the couch, and Lyra on the bed, both feeling a deep sense of connection, not just with each other, but with the living world around them. The following morning, the colony gathered for a celebration. Mara had called everyone together to acknowledge the explorers' discoveries. Alex and Lyra presented their findings, maps, observations, and the stories of Nova Prime's responses to human teamwork. "The planet is alive," Alex said confidently, "and it recognizes human cooperation. The more we work together, the more we can explore and understand it." Lyra added, "Nova Prime has shown us that curiosity, care, and teamwork are humanity's greatest strengths. We have to continue respecting the planet, learning from it, and working together." The other settlers listened in awe, inspired by the discoveries. They realized that humanity's first true alien experience was not about technology or conquest. It was about connection, respect, and the power of cooperation. That evening, Alex and Lyra returned to their shared room, smiling quietly. The glowing patterns on the walls shimmered gently, as if Nova Prime was acknowledging their efforts. "You know," Alex said softly, "I never thought a small room could teach me so much about teamwork, exploration, and trust." Lyra laughed. "And who knew that sharing a bed space, even just for sleeping, could lead to this?" Alex grinned. "Well, I didn't exactly share the bed with you yet, did I?" Lyra rolled her eyes playfully. "Not yet. But someday, maybe we'll share more than just a room. Our adventures, our discoveries, and this new world." Alex nodded. "Together." They sat in silence for a while, watching the twin suns set and the soft glow of the walls fill the room. The planet had revealed its secrets, but more remained to be discovered. and they would face it all together, guided by curiosity, teamwork, and the bond that had started in a small shared room. Nova Prime had shown them its intelligence, its beauty, and its trust. Humanity, in return, had shown its greatest strengths: cooperation, care, and the ability to adapt and thrive. And in that quiet, glowing room, Alex realized something important. The future of humanity wasn't just about surviving on new worlds. It was about understanding, exploring, and growing together. As they drifted off to sleep, the patterns on the walls pulsed softly, like a heartbeat, a promise of adventures yet to come. And for Alex and Lyra, the shared room was no longer just a room. It was the starting point of something greater, a shared future, full of hope, discovery, and the unbreakable strength of human connection. The planet, alive and aware, had welcomed humanity into its secrets. And in return, humanity had shown what it truly meant to care, cooperate, and thrive.